Hey, Nick.
What up, Holmes?
Did you know that milk is the fastest liquid on Earth?
Fastest liquid on Earth, eh?
Yeah, it's pasteurized before you even see it. We don't have it yet.
What up, my We Don't Have It Yetis? Welcome back for another fun weekly episode of We Don't Have It Yet with me, Nick, and Wyatt over there. We are back again with more movie stuff, more game stuff, more everything stuff. We're going to recap our fourths. I watched some movies. Letterboxd is maybe going to Netflix. EA Sports continues to suck. Something may be afoot over at the South Park business of Casa Bonita. Chump of the week. We'll probably take a break and get into Backlog Buster Brothers. And so much more. Wyatt, welcome back from your July 4th recording episode. How are you?
Hey, buddy, I'm not doing too bad. I got a lot of stuff going on in the next month and a half or so, and I feel like it kind of snuck up on me here pretty quick, and relaxation isn't really in the cards until the end of August.
A lot of irons in the old fire, huh?
Yeah, I'm one of those people that apparently really likes to stretch myself thin and say yes to everything, and don't realize it until you have to do all the things.
People pleaser, perhaps, Mr.
No,
Wyatt?
me never.
No,
Never.
right?
But what about you? How you been? Did you do anything fun for the 4th?
I think we just kind of hung out for the most part. I think I mentioned on the show that I had a brisket going.
Oh yeah, I forgot about. How was that?
It turned out really well, man. Hey, I'll tell you what, for a 50% off manager special cryo-packed vacuum-sealed brisket from Aldi for $10, pretty damn good.
Hell yeah.
I didn't have the highest expectations at all, and my smoker got destroyed by the elements and so many moves. The control board died, and I had only paid like $100 for it initially, so I let her go. But I just did, offset firebox in the old Weber kettle with some wood chips on the coals and smoked it that way, and then just let it cook for many hours and let it rest for a couple more. And it was juicy and delish, man. And we were eating it for about 3 days. We had brisket nachos, brisket mac and cheese. I got a hell of a lot of value out of that half-price brisket. It was good shit.
What do you do for a rub on that?
So
salt and pepper?
Yep. That's my go-to, but I did actually mix it up on this one a little bit and do like a little black pepper rub, or excuse me, black coffee.
Wait a minute. Oh yeah.
In with the salt and pepper rub and zazz it up with a little garlic and whatnot, but pretty standard stuff. But I've found the coffee rubs really gives you that what do they call the bark, the crust on the outside kind of thing. And yeah, I actually got decent smoke penetration. I had a pink ring in there, and sitting around the house, meandering about the kitchen, making potato salad with Independence Day on in the background, which is very on theme because it's a movie from 1996.
Oh yeah, that also. Wow, look at you.
Yeah, right. So I took right to assignment and put it on, and still a brilliant classic of background watching. I acknowledge that it's not good, but for someone of my gen, I mean, dude, it was one of the, I don't know, I don't want to say one of the first, but it was a turning point in what it meant to be a summer blockbuster tentpole movie. It felt like because it was an event in 1996 with the absolute full-on marketing blitz. You could not escape it that summer, and it was obviously coming out around the July 4th weekend, and so I think I just have a lot of associative memories with it. And before we knew what Will Smith would eventually become in a weirdo sense. Do you know that Roland Emmerich had to fight for his casting? The studio didn't want him.
Yeah.
So you really did a favor for the whole. The studio was like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Come on, get the hell out of here. And basically the whole maybe reason he's a movie star is that movie.
Yeah, I was just looking quickly because I was like, what did he do? Like, was that his reel coming out? And it looks like he had Bad Boys, which came out the year before, which was a great movie.
Was Bad Boys first? Yeah, well, the
Yeah.
first Bad Boys is great, but it's no Bad Boys 2. Let's just say
Well,
that.
nothing. There's
They
only one Bad Boys 2, and
they
that's
perfected
Bad
the
Boys 2.
formula forever, yeah.
But yeah, so it looks like he was just, the Fresh Prince, and then he did the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and then did Bad Boys, and it looks like after that it was Independence Day. I guess he was in Made in America, which I do not remember. I'm pretty sure that was a Whoopi Goldberg, Ted Danson
Yeah, he was
movie.
in 6 Degrees of Separation too, which was actually a
Oh
serious
yeah.
role, and I think he was looked upon pretty highly for that, but at the time, maybe not as many people had seen it. I don't remember. So he obviously had range available, but some
Yeah, but this was
back,
like you said, a major blockbuster movie
yeah.
and he ran with it. I mean, he did Men in Black right after that, so he went from, banger to banger.
Oh yeah, and then it became the Will Smith show. He went straight to Men in Black, and then after Men in Black, it was Wild Wild West, and then
Enemy of the State
Enemy of the State,
with Gene
Ali.
Hackman. Men in Black 2. Bad
God,
Boys
that
2.
movie was so bad. Bad Boys 2, one of the greatest movies ever made, period.
iRobot.
Actually, iRobots, yeah, that's good stuff, man. That's takes from the original idea. But I was just thinking, what a cast Independence Day did have.
Oh yeah.
Looking back, Bill Pullman, Jeff Goldblum, Mary McDonald, Judd Hirsch, Randy Quaid before he was crazy. You got the leader of the military, Robert Loggia. Who
Yep.
doesn't love Robert Loggia? I mean, everybody was in this movie, and it was it was an event. Do you remember, like, they had specials on Fox about these, like, unprecedented special effects scenes where they're blowing up the White House or whatever, and like, the hype was real, and that's probably why I still look upon it fondly, but it's not terrible. It's just dumb fun.
It's a summer movie.
Yeah, it contains the president in a fighter jet being like, Fox 1, Missile 3! Like, it's shit, but it's great,
All right, you alien assholes!
Yeah, Randy Quaid.
Have you seen, I have not, but have you seen Independence Day 2?
No, never bothered.
Yeah, I knew neither.
It's like they couldn't be bothered to make it for 15 or 20 years, and I think Jeff Goldblum was the only part of the original cast that returned.
They tried getting Will Smith, but he was like, I'm good.
Jeff Goldblum, he'll stay on for the sequel, I guess, if the payday's right. He did the Lost World. That was all around him.
Dude loves money, man.
He's a great actor. I can't blame him. I'm not upset when he shows up in things.
Looks like Bill Pullman was in it too, actually.
Oh, did he? Oh, so maybe was he still president, or was he?
Well, at that point, no, he was just the former president who is revered by the country as a world-saving hero.
Right.
But he has PTSD, apparently, after everything he went through. Which is understandable. I mean, imagine being the president and having to fight an alien
invasion.
invasion.
And then they're back. Yeah, and then we get like a long hair, weirded out, like paranoid version of Bill Pullman, probably.
I hope so. I might have to watch it.
He's living in the desert somewhere. Yeah, that might have to happen now that we're talking about it. What about you? Anything cool over the holiday? You getting any fun?
Yeah, it was pretty busy. It was pretty good. Friday we went to a friend's place at their lake house, just had some burgers, and Caitlin made a nice fruit salad. I made my money turn into an apple pie, so I brought an apple pie with us.
Saying you purchased an apple pie from a bakery establishment.
I'm just saying there were a few degrees of separation between me and an apple pie. I mean,
if someone wanted to assign you credit for it, who are you to tell them otherwise?
I'm not gonna say no. I mean, I made it happen. So, but that was pretty good. It was balls hot though. That was pretty miserable. And the lake that they're on is a very shallow lake, so it was let's go hop in the lake and get refreshed and cool off. It was warmer than bath water. I was like, oh man, like I'm now
not a very
sweating.
deep lake then. Yeah.
No, it's not. It was, I think, the deepest. I mean, there's a couple kind of deep parts, but you could walk like halfway across the lake. But it was good. And then the fourth, we didn't really do a whole lot. We just hung out at home. I think I grilled some steak, maybe. It sounds about right. We watched a show, actually. We started watching a show and we binged the first season, which I think you and the wife would probably really enjoy. Widow's Bay. Have you watched
Oh,
that
we're
at
in the
all
middle
yet?
of it, dude.
Are
Yeah,
you?
we weren't
Yeah.
going to talk about this, but if you want to, I'm down. Yeah, I think
Oh,
we're
we don't
like
need to. I was just going to say that you need to watch it if you haven't.
5 episodes in. Yeah, dark
Yeah.
comedy. Love it.
Yeah, Matthew Rhys is awesome in that. He is
There are people
awesome.
saying that it's not a comedy. Why do people call it a comedy? To my
It
face,
is.
it is a comedy. It's just
Most horrors are comedies if you really look at it.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
never
I'm really
watched.
enjoying
He was
that.
from the Americans.
Americans.
Yeah. See, I
Yep.
never watched that show, and I get yelled at by everybody for never having seen that. So I really have to make amends
I've
there.
seen the first few episodes and then I just never. I mean, it wasn't like it was bad, but I just never continued watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can tell me if you think I'm stupid here because I could not stop seeing this the entire time I was watching the show.
Okay.
Does Matthew Rhys kind of look like John Ritter to you?
Yeah.
Not
now that
like
you mention
spot
it,
on.
now that you're mentioning it, yes, because I'll tell you exactly why. They share similar facial expressions in their
His-
mannerisms. I see exactly what you're talking about now that you're mentioning it.
Like it's not John Ritter, but I could be very easily convinced that like that was his brother or a nephew.
He'd be great to play him for sure.
It's what I was thinking watching that. I'm like, if there's gonna be a John Ritter, documentary or biography, if Matthew Rhys doesn't play him,
it's like that that look on him that it's like that anxious,
yes,
I don't belong here kind of character. Yeah, you're right on.
Okay, that makes me feel a lot better because the entire time I was watching it, I think probably the first couple episodes, I'm like, what do I know?
Well, give the broad strokes of the show here now, since we're actually
I guess we're already talking about it.
Yeah.
We'll go more in depth when you finish it, obviously.
Sure,
but it takes place in what is I'm gonna say is off coast Massachusetts. It's basically a Martha's Vineyard type situation. It's an isolated island that
like a fictional Nantucket type of thing.
Yeah,
right?
it's a Nantucket Martha's Vineyard, except not rich.
Yes,
it's very
Towny.
I think the first probably 20 minutes of the first episode, Caitlin, when we were watching it, she's like, "So this takes place in like the 90s, right?" Because if you look at all the there's no cell phones, which they very cleverly right away at the
they take care of it
first
off
episode.
the bat. No reception on the island. We still have to use landlines.
Yeah. So, and even if you look around, like the technologies in the offices, it's not like exactly tube monitors, but they're not LCD monitors. They're like the weird, like late 90s, halfway between.
It's just that they're making do with what they have access to because it's not like they're on a UPS delivery route.
No,
so
they have
it's
a
obviously
ferry
very
that comes in to
isolated.
deliver stuff.
Yeah.
So the idea is there's something nefarious that's going on this island, and no one really knows what. Bad things happen, and Matthew Rhys is the mayor of the island, and he doesn't believe in it because he wants to turn the island into the next Nantucket or Martha's Vineyard because the island's dying and they need tourists. And Stephen Root, he's Bill from King of the Hill. He's in Office Space. He plays Milton in Office Space.
He plays
Stephen
everyone
Root,
in everything. He's awesome
so
in
good.
everything he's in. He's one of the best character actors of all time. Like he's wonderful in this as he is in everything.
He does an amazing job as Wick, who is the older man who's lived on the island his entire life, that's seen shit go down before and is trying to convince the mayor that, bad stuff's happening. You need to take care of the people. Who cares about, bringing tourists in?
I think at one point the mayor even calls Stephen Root and like the group that he's with a bunch of towny hicks, and this is all stupid superstition from you people, and
But it's a very dark comedy. It's very Stephen King-esque, and there's one episode, I don't know if you made it to, where there's a Stephen King book that's just shown like the background. It's like the nod to we know this.
Oh, very very early on in the story, you're getting a psychotic clown character getting folded in, so you can see the nods for sure. But there is gore, there is weird stuff, there is animal sacrifice, there is witchcraft type stuff. There's all sorts of fun to be had, and at the end of the day, it's funny.
It's so funny. And Matthew Rhys, you mentioned before, his physical acting, his face, his his movements. Like he is a very funny guy. Like some of the things he does, like they aren't necessarily funny lines, but the way he delivers these things, it's
Yeah, like I said, he's yeah, like that's a really good observation in his physical because he's almost like tripping over himself constantly, isn't he? Like he's on totally wound up and on edge.
which understandably so with the situation he's in.
Yes, but even before we get into the scary stuff kind of thing,
he's
just like the stressed out mayor guy trying to balance being a single parent to a teenage son who's running roughshod over the island and out causing trouble, and he's got all these constituents that have this problem and that problem and the next kind of thing. So he's constantly got all the plates in the air, and then also this,
and no one likes him, as you see,
and everyone hates him. Yeah.
So like, which can. And a couple people have asked, like, why are you the mayor?
He ran
because,
unopposed.
like, nobody seems to. Yeah, exactly. No one liked him. And then as you get further into the season, you get some more background on like the history of Widow's Bay, and it's so you said you're at about episode 5, 6,
5 or 6. Well, I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah,
but we did finish up an episode. I think the last one we watched took place like in the 1700s.
Okay, yep.
So you get like the full backstory episode, which I thought was great.
Yeah, the oh god, what the heck is the actor's name? Hamish, I think. God, I can't remember. The guy that plays the main character back in the 1700s.
Yeah,
he did
scary
a really
dude.
good job of
that.
Apple TV series. If anyone has Apple TV, I highly recommend it. And it's not like this is a hidden gem. It's been getting its flowers by just about everybody.
Deservedly so. Yeah.
Yes, and it's one of the shows where the hype is actually met in my mind, at least. Like I look forward to there being a second season of that coming out.
Yeah, well, it's on streaming, so that's never guaranteed, even if it's a huge critical and audience hit.
But with Apple, at least, I think they generally give their shows 3 seasons at least.
Yes, and they seem to have a little bit of a longer leash creatively and letting creative people do their thing versus cater to the algorithm saying that the show should do this here and all that good stuff. Speaking of
Lasso
Netflix,
got 4 seasons, and anyway,
we might as well go straight into it. Letterboxd, everybody's favorite Yelp of movies kind of thing, user reviews, getting real opinions from real people, is about to be bought maybe by Netflix.
Great.
Because what's more valuable to Netflix than all of the opinions on everything from a massive user base, and we can harvest this data and sell it to AI and all that good stuff.
You are the product.
Yeah, I mean, it was something like 70% of a lot of the AI references are built off of Reddit conversations kind of thing.
Which definitely checks
human interaction.
This is dumb.
I'm sure there are worse stewards out there for Letterboxd, but it's just like, this is what we've been talking about on the show. This is why platform loyalty is completely worthless, because they start something and create a good product and let you enjoy it, and maybe it's in something of a subsidy phase, or in this case, just getting to a point of popularity where they can now package and sell it. It's tough to get attached to anything, because once this site has corporate overlords, here come mass shitification. So why bother being on there? So, of course, this comes on the heels of us getting a Letterboxd account and me actually writing like 3 or 4 reviews last week real quick. But until we find a new place, we'll be over there.
Was it letterboxd.com/we don't have it yet, most likely?
Yeah, that sounds right. Let's go with that.
This is a big reason why I think you and I are staunch advocates of FOSS, free open source software, because stuff like this happens.
And why I'm staunchly against software as a service and forever subscriptions, because pretty soon, if you want to use Letterboxd, you got to have at minimum the Netflix $9.99 plan. By the way, that's going up to $12.99 next.
That's exactly, and I was gonna mention that's exactly what's gonna happen. It's gonna be, first it might end up being like, get a Letterboxd account for $4.99 a month, and we'll give you, 3 months of
there you go,
Netflix for XYZ, and then so it's just gonna end up being
More walled gardens get you hooked inside their ecosystem, and then they gotcha.
This is
'Cause
exactly why
you agreed to the terms of service that they own all the data that you wrote on there, kind of thing.
Yep. This is why this last year when I started really getting back into reading, which reading's fun. Everyone should do it.
Yay
And you
books,
think,
yay
you know,
libraries.
someone that taught English you think would have always been reading along these years, but no, I kind of fell off the wagon for a bit
Me
there.
fail English? That's
Yeah,
impossible.
impossible. I can't believe you don't have that drop.
I don't have any Simpsons drops. What's wrong with me?
But yeah, I had I think it's Goodreads account, which is basically the like Letterboxd for books.
Yep.
And I was keeping that up, and then I found out that
Amazon
bought them. So I went, you know what? Nah, I'm good. And there's a free open source alternative called Storygraph, which I've started using, and I'm sure that's going to end up going the same way, because that's what happens is if you're successful, someone's
Slurped
gonna
up.
Yep. So I'm enjoying that for now, and it's kind of I use it more like I don't share my account with anyone. I'm not trying to get anyone to read reviews, and honestly, I don't even leave like paragraph reviews. I just there's like 7 categories, and you leave 1 through 5 of what you feel about it, and that's basically just for me because
You want to find things that you're interested in? Yeah.
right. And then I can do that. And what did I just finish reading? Oh man, I don't know why I read this. I know we're bouncing around topics here, but we're on books now,
fudge it.
so
It's our
it
show.
works. If you don't realize that we're dealing with 2 ADHD hosts here yet, then you never will.
Yeah.
So a couple of years ago, I started reading The Art of Racing in the Rain, which I don't know if you've read or watched the movie.
No, great title though.
Yeah, I think you would enjoy it. It is the story of a family and their dog. And the twist on this is that it's written from the perspective of the dog. And it's
Okay.
yeah, it's very unique. So and it's a very smart, like it's a dog that's wise beyond its years. It's a dog that believes that, it was meant to be a human. Like it has all these human emotions, and you see like this bad stuff happens to the family, and the dog's there along with it. And the Art of Racing in the Rain is because Denny, one of the dog's owners, is a semi-professional race car driver, and he always takes Enzo, his dog, with him to these things. The dog absolutely loves racing and everything. But it's a very sad book because
Does the guy like roll the race car with the dog inside or something?
No. As someone that's lost a couple dogs over the last couple years, seeing because you go through basically the entire life of this dog from beginning to end, and getting to the end of the dog's life is
I've read
sad.
and watched Marley and Me. I don't know why.
Yeah. So for whatever reason, like I said, I started reading it a couple years ago, and I just ended up putting it down because things were happening with dogs in my life. And I'm like, I don't need to read this right now. And I had to actually put it in the van because I was like, oh, I'll keep a couple books in the van. So if I go camping, I'll always have something to read if I forget or whatever. And I was doing some cleaning in the van and saw the book a couple days ago. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll get back into it. I had like 150 pages left in the book. So I set up my hammock out back, which, so nice. And laid down in the hammock, read the last 150 pages of the book, and buddy, I was crying like a baby. I was like, why did
it doesn't get happier at the end, does it? Yeah.
I mean, it does. Like some of it was kind of like happy tears, but a lot of it was like, oh, why did the dog have to do it?
He's supposed to live forever.
Yeah, exactly. But it was a really well written book. I haven't watched the movie yet, and I know I've been very staunchly like, if I really enjoy a book, I don't want to watch the movie because it doesn't live up to it.
Fair.
I wouldn't say that I loved this book, so I will probably watch the movie. I really enjoyed the book, but it's not one where it's like, I wouldn't want to see an on-screen adaptation of this.
That's one of those, that's one of those movies, though, where it's like, all right, sitting down on Friday night to enjoy ourselves. You want to watch 1917, honey? Or like, All Quiet on the Western Front? People say it's great.
You want to watch Schindler's List this week?
Yeah, exactly.
No?
Sometimes you don't feel like crying, even though you know that it's gonna be good. Dog's dying doesn't have to be on the menu tonight.
No, it was good. It was a cleansing cry.
Yeah, well, you just have to be in the right mindset. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, it was really good, and I'm glad I took us completely off topic of
No, not really, because I
Letterboxd.
mean, you're talking about yeah, the book was out in the van, and I think we both have some automotive complaints to get to this week. So, what happened with your Vanagon this week?
Oh, do we want to hop right into
Yeah, why
chump of the
not?
week? Yeah,
Sure.
we're doing everything. Who cares?
Yep.
Yeah, so I for a while now I've got to the point with the van where I've done most of the mechanical things, and I'm gonna knock on this wood right next to me because I'm sure something's gonna blow up the next time I try to drive it because I said this. But I've put a lot of time and money and effort into fixing this project van up into a situation where I could actually use it, which is great. And now I'm starting to buy some fun stuff for it, which is fun. But
Truck nuts, your
yeah,
basic
I've
accessories,
got
things like
yeah, I've
that.
got 4 sets of truck nuts that I hang off the back
Well,
because
you
I
got it,
got a
yeah,
lot of
multiple.
balls.
Yeah, you got big nuts, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta
Wasn't
let them know you're out there, Wyatt.
wasn't that the Detroiters episode
Yes.
where they go to fix up the car when they're going to the cruise, and then
Lipstick
I
on a
think
pig.
yeah. Uh, and what was it? Tim was holding up 2 different sets of truck nuts, and Sam was like, both. So they were hanging 2 sets of truck nuts off the car. Anyway, but yeah, so I bought myself some truck mirrors. But like big delivery trucks have the bigger mirrors so you can see, around
Offset
yourselves.
kind of thing,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the mirrors that originally come on the Vanagon aren't really that great. Not only that, but they're notoriously, for lack of a better term, floppy. Like if you're going fast enough, the mirror will just kind of like fold in, and then it's useless. So you have to like push it back out, and you're just constantly
Oh,
fighting with
yeah, I
this
know what
thing.
you mean. Yeah, so you're
Yeah,
driving down the highway and you got to open the window and try and reach around the
yeah.
passenger side to get your yeah.
Oh yeah, and
Nobody wants that.
there's no chance if it's the
Yeah.
passenger one that flops, there's enough distance between where you're sitting in that driver's seat that when that passenger mirror is done until you're stopped. Even you, like that's a long reach. But
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah, so I bought some truck mirrors, and I'm like, oh, great, cool. Like I've wanted these. They're usually on Synchros, which are the 4-wheel drive versions of Vanagons, and I think they look a lot better, and they're just a lot safer to use. So I was like, all right, cool. Like, and they're expensive, dude. They are everything for Vanagons. They're so expensive. Like there's like 4 or 5 companies that really carry Vanagon stuff, which is great. It's great that stuff is still made, because if it wasn't, then it would make this thing a hell of a lot harder for me to create.
Yeah.
But so, I've been looking at the websites and looking and waiting for a sale and waiting for me to have enough money where I'm like, you know what? I can throw this money away on this. And there's a couple sites like they literally sell these for over $600 for a pair. I'm like, I cannot see spending $600
Is that just because
on
they know that
mirrors.
they're the only game in town and they have you over the barrel?
Pretty much. And I mean, people who own Vanagons have money. I am the exception to the rule. You either need to be a mechanic or you need to have the money to pay a good mechanic, because these things are constantly going to need work. And I'm not saying I'm a good mechanic, because I'm not. But I mean, I will try to do stuff. And if I can't, I'll scrape together the money and bring it to my mechanic. But so I was looking, and I found this company called CIP, California Import Products, maybe. And they had some there, and I was looking back and forth at all these different websites that were selling them, and I'm looking, and I'm trying to find reviews, and I'm really like, these are all the same things, and they do come from Germany because they were factory Vanagons. So I was like, this CIP website had them for $160 each, so about $320 for the pair, which is between $200 and $300 cheaper than anyone else. And then
Still
they
a lot for mirrors, though.
Oh, it is. Oh, it,
Yeah.
buddy, I know. But they also had a 15% off 4th of July sale too, so it was 50% off that. So I was like, I don't think I'm going to get these any cheaper. So I bought them. They arrived yesterday. Today was going to be the day where I was like, I'm going to put these together. It's probably I don't know, let's say 20 to 40 minute project to do both of them. So I get everything out of the box and I start, screwing it together, and I'm looking in the box and I don't have any of the sheet metal screws that are needed to screw it into the upper arm of the door. And I'm like, well, what the hell? So I'm digging through the box. I go back to the website, and of course it says does not include any mounting hardware. So now, mind you, not only does it not include any mounting hardware, it also includes no instructions, which is fairly, easy to figure out, but I don't know the screw length that I need. I don't know any of the things I actually need.
They
So
don't
I'm
even
now,
give you like a
nope,
list of needed
nope,
hardware that they
nope,
don't include.
nope. Just
Yeah.
you need 3 screws for each side. So I'm now scouring the internet for hopefully someone else which obviously anyone that's done anything with a Vanagon, someone's already done it. So that's the nice thing. And people like to share their knowledge. So I was like, all
Yeah.
right, I need to go online and figure this out. And of course, nobody also agrees on anything. And most of the stuff are metric sized because, Vanagons are European.
VW, yeah.
Yeah. And so I go to my local hardware store and I'm like, I don't think I'm going to find this. But I'm looking at, it was like, what, 5.5 by something sheet metal self-tapping screws. So I'm like, all right, no, everything's standard SAE there. So I'm now trying to do the math. Like, all right, what would this be in standard? And I'm looking at this. I'm going back and forth and back and forth. So I got what I think is correct. And took me, I don't know, 45 minutes plus 30 minutes of driving this morning. And the kicker to all of it is I have no idea where the battery charger is for my drill. So I can't even.
Ain't that always the way?
Yeah, I can't even do that anyway. But I think if you're a company that's selling something for hundreds and hundreds of dollars, you're a complete chump if you're not including the, let's see, what did it cost me? $2.10 for these 6 sheet metal screws. Like, come on, man. You're a
I will
chump.
get revenge on you.
Yeah, I think that's well, I don't even know if I need to go into mine, but that's reasonably chump worthy. But I actually had a callback. Actually, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this or not.
I don't think you did, because when you talked about it, I hadn't heard this story before.
So this goes back to the end of 2024. My regular shop was, I think, shut down for the holidays, and I needed an oil change, so I said, screw it, and ran into Jiffy Lube. By the time the next change comes around, my shop is open, they put it on the lift, and they go, where'd you take this last time you got it changed? I said, Jiffy Lube, and he goes, yeah, they didn't feel like taking your oil pan underside cover off, so they just took a Sawzall to it. You can see the pictures here that were taken. Yeah, here you go on the screen. And yeah, sure enough, they didn't feel like taking all the little clips out, take the whole cover off. So the guy just cut a big ass hole in it to drain the oil out.
That's one does.
I had complained to Jiffy Corporate, and then promptly forgot all about it, and get a random phone call the other day, Tuesday of this week, saying like, hey, I saw you had a complaint. What? So yeah, I was like, yeah, wondering what's going on. Guessing I wasn't the only one. If they made a practice out of this, that's probably wasn't the first and last time that they decided to just cut a hole to access things easily. And I mean, they are mailing me a check now for $90 for a new undercover for my car, which of course I replaced forever ago.
Yep.
But I just gotta wonder where my complaint was laying in someone's inbox for the last year and a half, almost 2 years.
No, it was the guy that ended up
they
quitting.
addressed it, but just let this be a lesson to everybody out there. Never take your fucking car to Jiffy Lube, man. They're independent franchisees that very likely are employing people that do not give a shit.
Oh yeah, if you care about your vehicle, don't go to any of those quick lube places.
Yeah. Yeah, find a trusted local guy who will do you, a decent price on the regular, and you can go forever. But yeah, so there goes our automotive chumps of the week.
And you are my chump of the week.
Chumps. I suppose these would have fit better into Motorsport June, but they'll have to live in 1996 for now.
Yeah, I didn't have the money to do it in Motorsport June, so let's go to something happier, Nick.
Okay, I like being happy.
All right, well, this isn't actually happier because once again we don't have any happy topics. EA Sports with their College Football 27 recently was released, and there was a lot of backlash. And can you guess what EA Sports had some backlash about?
In-game advertising or microtransactions?
Microtransactions. What is a better pair than EA and microtransactions? If you can
Yep.
find one, I would be surprised because do you remember, I don't know, this was 7 or 8, maybe even a decade ago. Do you remember Star Wars Battlefront 2?
Oh yeah, pay-to-win mechanics, top to
Yeah,
bottom.
do you remember the quote
Gotchas.
Yeah, do you remember the quote from one of the heads of EA at the time about that when people were mad?
I do not.
Well, this has been a quote that has been stuck in my head since he said it, and it was actually used as a meme for quite a long time after that, actually. Is that he didn't think it was a big deal. The problem with Star Wars Battlefront 2 was it was all there were loot boxes. You didn't there was no like actual there probably wasn't an actual storefront, but there were certain skins and you could only get them via loot box and weren't guaranteed to get them. So you could go ahead and spend real money to get, whatever the online
Roll the dice on the
equivalent was.
gambling
Yeah.
mechanics.
Yeah, and there's no guarantee.
Yep.
And also the leveling up was painfully slow. Like, it was just
It was made to paint you into a corner to want to spend money.
Yes.
Because unless you grinded 1,000 hours, you're never unlocking Darth Vader or whatever it was.
You're not getting Luke Skywalker
Yeah.
or Darth Vader. He said that he thought it was a good thing because it would fill players with a sense of pride and accomplishment when and if they opened that loot box and Darth Vader was there. Yeah.
What an ugly thing to say.
I know. So getting even worse than that, to me, I guess, is College Football 27, which came out last week, the week before maybe. Users noticed something different when they started playing the offline Road to Glory and Dynasty modes.
Was that like the single player campaign version
The
kind of thing?
offline single player. The Road to Glory is you're basically player locked. I'm going to be a quarterback through college and see if I can get drafted in the NFL. And the Dynasty mode is I'm taking over, and I don't think it's called Dynasty. I can't remember what it's called. But it's the mode where you take over a college and you try to build them into a powerhouse. So these are offline modes. The Dynasty mode, there is an online version, but both are, the complaints are offline modes. So you're playing single player by yourself, trying to create your own fun, which is how, I've always played single player games.
Right.
So however I want to play it, it's how I'm going to play it. So it used to be, even up through last year, players could change the rate at which they gained experience. So if you wanted like your coach to get better faster, you could just change XP gain to fastest, and you would gain more XP each game, so you could do XYZ. They eliminated that this year, and not only that, they basically nerfed your ability to gain XP, and if you wanted to get good, GG, you needed to spend money on microtransactions to buy these college football points that you could then pour into your character to make them better. And
so it's like itchy and scratchy money, V-Bucks or what have you.
Yep. It just
That's
for
fucking stupid.
No, it is, my friend. And there was a lot of backlash, as you might be not surprised to hear. Well, I guess yesterday EA decided to back off of that, which is kind of surprising. They're taking away all of the microtransactions out of the offline modes. They're still going to be there in the online modes,
of course.
Unsurprisingly. But, it looks like it is called Dynasty, so I was correct. So, there's something that they said in here, and I'm trying to see if I can quickly find it. They're removing all paid progression options from Road to Glory and Dynasty. And an unfortunate side effect of removing paid progression is that players that have college point balances in their wallets will not be able to apply the balances.
Yep.
So jump in between now and then and apply your points. So I understand, I'm not...
It's strong arming, basically.
I'm not in the business. I mean, I was in a business and I ran a business fairly well. And the right thing to me, even though it would cost them thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, would be if you're getting rid of these things, you refund people. You're taking it away, you refund it, and if you have to, you either reset the player so you take it back which people would be mad at if they spent this money on. But if they're getting the money back, like I don't know,
It would certainly be a way to maintain some goodwill with the community while you're implementing these crazy changes year over year.
right. Not just okay. You're not going to be able to use these points anymore. And I believe they can be used in the online modes. But for someone like me who never plays any of these sports games online, like I wouldn't spend my money on this anyway. But if I did, like I would never use it. So
Yeah, I have no problem harping all over EA, but wasn't the NBA 2K series like doing the same shit?
Oh, they're terrible too.
With the single player campaign already, and that's like a complete
It's a
wasteland of microtransactions.
Oh,
and yeah.
Even with the new WWE 2K wrestling game, people are complaining about the microtransactions between like trying to get different attires and stuff like that. Like video games, and this is actually not a tangent, and it just made me think about it while we were talking about it. I remember, I don't know, little Wyatt was 11, 12, 13 years old playing Madden with Matt and Sean, his cousins who he grew up with.
Mhm.
We would all play single player Madden. It was a really weird setup, but I kind of enjoyed it. We all had our own TV. We all had our own system. We played Madden just hanging out together. And I remember in Madden 2001, 2002, maybe 2003, there were these things called Madden cards. I don't know if you played Madden at all back then, but
Very little. I was definitely the NFL 2K guy.
which is fine. We played both because we were losers. Hey, Matt and Sean, I'm sure you're gonna hear this.
I
We
mean,
were
every
losers.
college apartment was,
Oh, we were
some
11
group
and
of
12.
guys playing Madden or some version of
But yeah,
a sports game.
they had Madden cards. Like I've looked back because I still have all the copies of these games. Because one, no one's gonna buy them, and two, it's fun to kind of look back 20 years ago at the NFL and be like, oh yeah, remember that guy? Remember that guy?
Yeah. Hey, you look back at the curse of the cover.
Yeah, exactly. So they had these things called Madden cards, which were so cool, and like it's just not going to be done today. But the idea was, say, you got a first down, you got 10 points, you get these Madden points, and then you can use those points to buy these. It was like a very beginning version of like Ultimate Team buying packs and stuff. But what it did was like you buy these cards, and they're like virtual trading cards. So you unlocked Eddie George, you unlocked Jamal Lewis. So like if you use this card, you can give, if it's a bronze card, you could bump Jamal Lewis's stats up 5%. But then they also had like these fun cards that were something like Da Boot, which gave you unlimited field goal range on one play if you want to use the card. So you could be back on your 1 yard line, use Da Boot card, and you can boot a field goal all the way across as long as you're accurate.
Yeah, and that's a cool thing because you earned it, and that's what makes it
Exactly.
fun. And that's where a sense of accomplishment comes in.
Right. That's
because
your
you
pride and
earned that
accomplishment.
thing. Now somebody's just going to swipe their credit card, buy 50 $3.99 unlimited field goal range, credits, and then just be like, "Ha, I can own you whenever I want." And now you've zapped the fun out of video games.
And that's all video games now, and it sucks to be. And we always made fun of, probably, I mean, maybe you did, I know I did, make fun of your parents for them being like, when I was younger it was like this and that, and you're like, yeah, okay, old man. And now we're looking back at video games, but it's like, yeah, wait, remember when we were kids and there were actual unlockables? Remember when we played Tekken 3 and you'd have to beat the campaign with a character and then you unlocked a new character? You weren't paying $20 for the character pack. Like,
well, it's going right back to what we were just talking about. Software as a service, man. It's not, they're not selling you the thing that you get to then enjoy and, dig through and explore every part of and then move on to the next kind of thing. No, they want to keep you in that ecosystem and keep you spending money. But as we learned in The Wire,
the game is rigged.
Game is
you cannot
rigged.
lose if you do not play.
Just walk away, people. If they're pulling this bullshit, don't do business with them. It's that simple. You don't have to play the latest annual entry of the franchise. Like, if you want it to change, don't buy the things.
And
that's all you can
that's
do.
my biggest problem is all the people that complain about it and then still give their money because
they're a vocal
they don't
minority
care.
that are actually buying it anyway. Yeah, exactly. So if that's the most like vocal feedback that you're getting from the community and your EA, of course you treat them like a cash cow because from the last 25 years of data that they're gonna buy it anyway, no matter how much they bitch. You have all of that information, and I don't know.
Especially now that the Saudi fund
Oh
owns
yeah,
EA,
yeah, they're
basically.
drying up, man. So
Yep.
yeah, they got to find some cash. It's
Yep. That
I
was my
will be
final
happy to
straw.
watch it all burn and let EA and their exclusive NFL rights deal burn along with it. Maybe we'd actually get a decent sports title out of a company other than them.
Well, this is just a quick plug for whoever does it. Have you ever played any of the updated rosters for NFL 2K5?
Oh yeah, I did. I
Yeah.
think I wrote a quick article about that a year or two ago. Yeah, we're
Well,
for
there we go.
NFL 2K25, and
Yeah, so I highly recommend for anyone out there that feels the same way and is annoyed about all this crap to go ahead and look up NFL 2K5 updated rosters. Probably just look that up and you'll be able to walk yourself through it. If you enjoyed NFL 2K5, which somehow still stands up to this day, the gameplay does. Even the
animations
presentation.
still look great.
Yeah.
Presentation is unmatched since.
Can you believe that game released for $19.99?
Exactly. What better argument for competition and why exclusive license rights shouldn't exist? Jesus Christ. They were like, all right, you got this established product, we made something better, and we're gonna sell it for a third of the price. Try and
Although to be
compete with us.
fair,
They couldn't.
they did that once they lost the exclusive rights. Once they knew it was they done. I remember that being the thing. It was like,
The
all right,
price
we're
was
just gonna
lower
sell it
no
for
matter what, though.
$19.99.
I'm not misremembering that. If it was, then it was 40 versus 60 initially. There was still a price
Well, no,
difference.
it brand new when it came out. It was $19.99 because
Okay, yeah.
it was announced before it came out that EA got the exclusive license, and the
But
2K team was
there were
like, screw
years
it.
there were years prior to that. There was NFL 2K2 and 2K3 and stuff like that. It still sold at a lower MSRP, did it not?
I honestly don't know.
We'll have to look that up. If only we were both sitting at stations that had unlimited information in front of them. Oh well, on to next week. Somebody will let us know.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you're probably right because I just did a quick look and I just looked up NFL 2K2 and the MSRP was $37.99.
Yeah, okay, so they
I
were
guess
40. Okay, yeah, because I
so
worked
let's
at Circuit
see,
City at the time, and I know I remembered something.
Madden 2002 MSRP. Yeah, they were 50.
There you go.
So
Okay.
you are correct, Nicholas.
It feels good. Somebody's got
I
to
was
tell
so
me once in
young
a
back
while.
then that I just worked for my allowance and threw it away very quickly, so I wasn't sure.
As one
You're
should.
much older than I am.
Oh, he just takes any chance to point it out, doesn't he,
I got
folks?
it. So, we got, man, do we have anything nice to talk about?
Backlog Buster Brothers is going to be fun.
Do you want to quickly go, because we teased Casa Bonita, and I feel like
Oh yeah, I'd
we
love to talk
should.
about this.
So
Absolutely.
why don't we, do you need to take a bathroom break?
Yeah, but when we come back, Brooke Shields is going after Matt and Trey Parker and Casa Bonita, and we have to talk about it. And we will be right back.
Coming soon, it's Truckosaurus, the movie, starring Marlon Brando as the voice of John Truckosaurus.
You crazy car. I don't know whether to eat you or kiss you.
Celebrity voice impersonated.
And we're back, everybody. Thank you for staying with us. We, just before getting into Backlog Buster Brothers, wanted to pivot over to a fun topic. I don't know if it's happy or not, but Wyatt, workers claim unsafe conditions at restaurant owned by South Park creators, and Brooke Shields is fighting on the side of the workers. Stuff's going on at Casa Bonita.
Yeah, so for anyone that's unfamiliar with the whole Casa Bonita saga, it's a Mexican restaurant in Denver that specializes in, I guess, entertainment. So you have cliff divers, you have puppeteers.
It's very
you have,
theme heavy.
Yes.
Experience, destination restaurant, and Mexican in only the loosest of possible terms. Very 1970s Disney type entertainment stuff.
Yes. Yeah, it's very like Rainforest Cafe meets Munch's
with less
Make-Believe
budget.
Bands. Yes, although
Yeah.
the amount of money that Matt and Trey put into.
Yes. Well, it costs them an immense amount of money to bring it back up to an operating state.
Yeah,
But
I believe it was like $35 million that they.
yeah, and they went into it with a budget of 10, I think.
Yeah, it was between 5 and 10, I believe.
I think one of the earlier episodes of this show, did we talk about the documentary?
I believe you talked about watching it. Yeah.
Yeah. But obviously, became this immense kind of cult location figure because of the South Park episode that brought a lot of tourists to them.
Yep.
But the place prior to them taking it
It
over
was a
was
dump.
just in total state of disrepair, had been neglected for decades. And funnily enough, like they brought a lot of these safety concerns and things up in the documentary, especially stuff with the divers and the safety of the pool. But now apparently some of those performer folks have gotten with Brooke Shields, who works for the Actress and Actors Equity organization, whatever that happens to possibly be. It sounds like Baby SAG or something. I don't know.
Something like that. Yeah.
So Casa Bonita's whole performer cast are unionized.
Yep.
And I guess she represents them.
Yep.
So she has a financial interest in this, let's be honest. I don't know where to land or who to believe but some of the accusations were, I think one of the performers got chlorine burn from the pool at some point.
Hypothermia.
Well, was that listed on the current complaints?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Concussion, hypothermia.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because I remember, like, in the documentary, the pool heater was, like, barely functioning. There were open electrical wires, like, exposed electrical where they were getting out of the pool. Just crazy unsafe stuff. And, I mean, they obviously spent money, redoing it. So it's like, did they just totally fail? And whoever's been, management company or whoever's running the physical restaurant is neglectful, or obviously Matt and Trey aren't up on the day-to-day operations at Casa Bonita. We know this. But it is kind of a bummer that they would put their stamp on something if these things are rightfully happening.
Yeah, so it looks like they, in an interview with Jimmy Kimmel Live, they said they originally hoped to spend about $7 to $8 million to fix it up, and ended up being about 50.
Whew.
But
I mean,
of course,
it's a
Matt and
wonderland
Trey
inside.
are two of the richest people pretty much ever at this point.
Yeah.
After that South Park deal they signed.
Well, they've, been very smart about, holding on to their own IP and things like that. So they sign these massive contracts for South Park distribution. I don't know what hold South Park Studios still has with the whole new Paramount deal and all that stuff, but yeah, I don't know. This isn't a happy story. This kind of bums me out because
That's
I
what
like
I said.
those guys.
Why are you saying it was happy?
Yeah.
This is workers' rights.
Yeah, which
stuff.
obviously I'm all for. And if they have legitimate complaints, like, I'm totally on board. I don't know. I have weird thoughts about Brooke Shields. For some reason, she rubs me the wrong way.
Do you like Fran Drescher better?
I do like Fran Drescher as the president of SAG. Yes,
Okay.
I thought she did great things. Honestly, I mean, she has an annoying laugh and was the nanny and stuff, but I think she was very good at her job in that respect.
Absolutely.
It's tough. Like, and like the guy said, the dresses up as the gorilla character, says he gets like fondled by drunk women and stuff. It's like,
So he's been sexually harassed over 20 times
Yeah,
since
like-
he started working there.
where do you say that that's not valid? Because it certainly is, but like, that's probably what's going to happen in a place that serves large amounts of alcohol and a guy's in a gorilla suit, and
You got to protect your workers, though. That's
I fully
what he's there
agree.
for.
I fully agree. I'm not saying he should like expect to deal with that or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, how do you make people behave these days, I guess, is what I'm asking.
You kick them out.
Just a no tolerance policy and out the door. Yeah, you're right.
Because it looks, I believe it in the article, I can't find it exactly right now, but I believe in the article it said that, people are warned before they go in to sit down, like, you are not to touch any of the performers. They are there to perform for you.
That should be a baseline expectation for anywhere.
And if they don't follow that, then it should literally just be a no tolerance policy. You need to protect your workers.
Yeah.
And if a guy or girl gets groped, you're out. I don't care. Like,
so you should maybe even go further than that. It's like bar you from the property,
it's sexual assault.
Yeah, or that trespass you from the place, kind of thing.
Yeah. So I mean, one of the big things also is that the performers, and people, there are a lot of people that make less money than this, so I know it all depends on how you feel about it, but I also feel like rising tide lifts all ships. But the performers, it looks in this article, says they make between $21 and $26 an hour, which is decent money. I think. I mean, living out in Denver,
Certainly, if you ever worked in the restaurant industry and receive a 2-week paycheck that says 0.00.
Yeah. So the performers make $21 to $26 an hour, but that's $10 less than the servers, and the servers also get tips. So the performers don't get any tips, and they make $10 less, at least $10
I'll take
less an
issue
hour.
with that. Like, yeah, that's cool that you're paying your servers. Don't get me wrong, but they have to be making bank if they're making 20% on average above that on every check, and then you're saying to the cliff divers that they don't deserve a cut of that. No, you should be pooling tips.
Yeah, at that point, absolutely, especially if they're making $10 less. And I understand.
That's an internal issue with the employee union or the performers union, and obviously the servers are not part of that. Then things are going to come to a head, and everybody's going to get into camps.
The waiters, the wait staff is not part of that. So, but the thing is, like, I don't know. They should be paid the same. They should be tip share. There needs to be. If
you're doing
backflips
off a 40-foot indoor cliff into a thimble of a water pool, I'd say you deserve a portion of the tips, because the people are there and tipping and paying a bill for the experience, which I'm sure your service is very nice, but like, look at what they're doing over there. Like, they deserve a cut.
I mean, not only that, like, after they do the dive, they have to rock climb to get out of the pool.
Yeah.
It's not just like a ladder to just climb back up, and they have to
I
climb
thought
the rocks
they
to
had tried to like make it much more accessible in the documentary, but they just kind of give it a facade for the presentation kind of thing. It looked like it was a much better experience than what it was in the past.
It's just, I don't know, this sucks.
Yeah, it's hard to know where to land without knowing the full story, and I'm sure more is going to come out about it. But that's really interesting that you basically might have warring factions within their own restaurant then. The performers are going to hate the server staff, and vice versa, maybe.
So it looks like, excuse me, at the end of the article here, it also says that the Actors Equity has filed at least 7 labor complaints with the NLRB for retaliation and refusal to bargain. So, and I think that's the big problem, is that they're saying that the Casa Bonita management's not even willing to work with them.
Yeah, and that's
a pretty
weird.
big deal.
Yeah, I should say so.
So I don't know. I know my buddy Greg and I, we went out to Colorado a few years back to go to a concert. And we went to Casa Bonita. It was before they were opening, I think. We've been in front of it. We have not been
right.
in
It was shut down at the time. Okay, yeah.
So I think we got some pictures of the front and everything.
Oh, is this when you went out for Run the Jewels?
It is, yeah.
Look at that memory on me.
Look at you go. And it was a cool little thing to see on the outside. And we were hoping, because they were doing reservations at the time, and we were out there for like 7 days or so. So we put in hoping, like, hey, maybe if our name gets pulled, we can just go check it out. And our names got pulled, I think, like 2 weeks after we went home. So I was like, oh,
of course. Well. Yeah.
But I don't know. It's not a great situation. It's not a great look for Matt and Trey. And even though, yes, they're not in there on the day-to-day operations.
Well, I would certainly
ultimately
assume union negotiations might pass their desk, kind of thing.
You'd hope so.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they haven't really given any response to any of this. So, it says that Parker and Stone are frequently at the restaurant, but they have not attended any of the 14 bargaining sessions with Actors Equity.
Yeah, nothing shocking there.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. It's everything sucks, man. We need to spend a little bit of time finding one fun story every week.
Yeah, I mean, there's nuance to everything, and I think that there's going to be more to come out about this. But nobody deserves to work in a place where they're getting like fucking harassed or anything like that.
No,
that's
absolutely not
acceptable. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
You know what? I think we have a segment that we're going to be doing that might make us a little bit happier. So why don't you hit that music?
Oh, let's do it. I even know where it is now.
Nick,
Yes, Wyatt.
I am very excited, hopefully, here, that I assigned you a game this past week that somehow evaded you, for the most
Escaped
part,
me.
for 30 years.
Yep.
That game was a launch game for the new system that came out from Nintendo.
The
called
birth of
the
3D.
The birth of 3D, the birth of the weirdest freaking controller that you'd ever see, weirdest first-party controller that you'd possibly ever see. Maybe to be outdone by the Duke Xbox controller, but I don't think so. This is weirder. The Nintendo 64. I asked you to play Super Mario 64 this week. How was your experience with this game?
You know, I gotta say, people might be onto something with this one. This pretty enjoyable little title.
It might catch on.
Yeah, I think this one has a future.
Pretty good.
You know, it's good, man. It is, and it's funny. Like I said, I think last week, I've played the opening sequence and initial level like 500 times. From the time that it came out in '96, where I would, beg somebody's parent or sibling to take us to Toys R Us so we could check out the demo station and this upcoming amazing new 3D system. So I played it again there, and that's my original memory. So that original opening scene, but then never took it further than that, really, for whatever reason. And I'm glad to say, I've been playing it on my Odin 2 handheld. I've been playing an Android port of Mario 64, and the only difference is that it's patched for widescreen at a higher resolution, and you have free right stick camera control. Because if there
I'm curious
was,
to hear how that works, because
it works
that
wonderfully. Wonderfully. It's great. Like, I think if there was one general flaw with Mario 64, as people discussed, it was just they hadn't nailed a 3D camera yet, because they were the first ones to do it. And there were parts where the camera could get stuck somewhere, and you didn't have the best view. It's what it was. You had the C button, and you could kind of tilt it and move it, but you didn't have what we've come to expect now with dual, stick controls and that sort of thing. But I have, I think, 19 stars now, so I'm still very early. I'm not going to give it over to like I spent the whole week playing this for hours every night. But I'm certainly a lot further than I ever have been before. And yeah, still plays great, still looks great, still feels really good. Everything translates, 30 years later, just fine. The modern quality of life improvements certainly help, kind of where visuals may have been dated or the game stuttered or the frames dipped and all that stuff in the original. It all runs super smooth now, obviously, so that's nice. But the level design, the gameplay, perfect. Like, it's just as good 30 years ago as it would be today, I think. It stands up remarkably well. And one of the really fun things is, my son would look over as I'm laying on the couch playing it on a handheld and be like, I can tell you how to get another star in this level. Because, of course, he's more experienced at this damn game than I am, by a long shot.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah, so there was actually some bonding stuff. He's like, no, just jump right back through that painting. Come on, I'm going to get you a quick one. We'll do this real quick. And, it's fun. And, I'd forgotten. I think I had maybe played something in it, a demo, or maybe it's just one of those memories that I've inserted because I've seen so many videos of it. But just little clever, fun touches, because it was, the first real analog stick game that most people played. So when you grab Bowser by the tail, you actually, go around 360 around the clock on the analog stick to swing him around the level. And so it's just wonderful Nintendo Miyamoto classic game design. And what else can I say? I'm going to finish it. I'm going to keep playing it on my own pace, and it's deserving of its status. So a tip of the cap to you, Mr. Assigner Wyatt.
I just couldn't believe you hadn't played it. Hopefully, you don't go through the same heartbreak that I went through when I first played Super Mario 64, which, let's see, I would have been 8, came out in 96. I would have been 8 years old when it came out.
Hmm.
I wanted to get all 120 stars. There are 120 stars in the
Oh
game.
yeah.
Yep. I think I was up to, it was over 100. Let's just say 105. And my younger sister deleted my save file.
Oh gosh.
Yep.
Yeah. You still resent her to this day for it. You'll never forgive her.
Absolutely.
Was it like because you were a bad brother and she was gonna like show you, or was it actually just a legitimate accident?
I mean, she was 5 or 6 at the time, so I think because she just started a new file and
Yeah,
saved it
so it's
over
just
my
one of those
game
things.
instead of using the other 3 files that are on the game. Um, yeah, that really hurt. I remember being so sad because I mean that was when. Let's see, when did Super Mario like? Because I think this might have been the first system that I got when it first like released. June 23rd, 1996. So oh wow, we just passed the 30th anniversary of the
look at
game
that.
coming out. But I remember I think it was my mom had told me, if I got all A's for the year, that because obviously the Ultra 64 was been talked about forever. I mean, I was following video games since I was knee high, so like I
On
knew
that Killer Instinct arcade cab intro, baby.
yeah. So
Ultra
I mean, I was like, I
64
really
coming
want
soon.
this. Yeah, I want it. And if I got all A's for the year, my mom told me she would buy me a Nintendo 64. So I got all A's, and I remember going to the Toys R Us that was right down the street from where we lived, and we went in. My
You
Nintendo
pulled that
64
little paper
was there.
slip.
Yep, and
Yeah.
she had asked me. She said, "All right," because it doesn't come with a game. So she's like, "What game do you want?" And if I remember correctly, and this could be wrong, I think there were only 2 release games for Nintendo 64.
Pilot Wings.
It was I believe it was Pilot Wings 64 and Super Mario 64.
Wait, so 64 Mario 64 wasn't a pack-in?
Nope.
I
It was not.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
So they haven't done a pack-in since the 64 days? Damn.
Well, I mean, technically, they did Wii Sports for Wii.
True, you're right. Yeah.
So, but yeah, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm 99.9% sure that I was told, pick which game you want, and it was Super Mario 64 or Pilot Wings. And what do you think an 8-year-old's going to pick?
Pilot
Super
Wings?
Mario 64.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I remember going that and bringing it home. Man, just talking about this brings up just weird
Emotions.
memories.
Flood
Not
of
emotions, just like
memories.
remembering. So I
Yeah,
remember we got it
where
home,
you were.
and my uncle let us borrow his TV for something had happened. I think my mom had just moved. We didn't have a TV yet, so we borrowed his TV, and I couldn't get the system. Like I could get it to turn on, but I couldn't get it to show up on the screen. I think it was because this was the first time it was a TV we had that was it was composite. So before
versus coax.
yep, because
Yeah.
my Nintendo and my Super Nintendo, I only had
The cable
coax.
hookup.
Yeah, attachments, and I thought that's how games were played. So
it
I
was more
hooked it up.
common. Yeah, that's how I
Yeah.
knew. All systems from Atari through, Genesis, SNES, all of those were RF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
cable
still have
connections.
my coax adapters for. Actually, I think I still have. So what had happened is because I come from a split home. My TV back at home at my dad's only had the coax, and the N64 only came with the composite cables. So I
Red,
remember
white, and yellow.
Yep, I think it was either just something that they bought for me so I could use it. I don't think I had to wait until Christmas. But they had an adapter for the N64 that plugged into where the composite out goes, which turns it into an RF adapter. And I remember using my Super Nintendo adapter to play that at home. But yeah, so I really hope that I don't know if you'll get all 120 stars. Like, it's not hard. I just don't know if you'll end up spending the time to.
The completionist in me
Exactly.
just wishes there were more hours in the day, perhaps. But I don't.
Yeah.
I don't foresee that happening here. Unfortunately,
I don't either. But I'm happy that you got a chance to play it. The one that I want to try and play sometime that I haven't had a chance to is Super Mario DS, because that's supposed to be like, I don't know, the ultimate version of Super Mario 64. And
but don't you have to use the stylus controls?
I honestly don't know anything about it. I
There
just
are,
know that a
again,
lot of people.
emulation mods, so you can have proper controls on it and use like analog controls if you wanted to. But I think the main gripe with that was it was pushing the touch functionality. But you could play
Probably.
as Yoshi.
Exactly. You can play as Wario.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm really glad to hear that you enjoyed Super Mario 64. I'm surprised that you hadn't played it. So when I saw that on your backlog, it was like, oh yeah.
Well, I
we're-
can tell
we're
you
going
why
to
it's a glaring
96.
omission outside of the world of, emulators when I should have. But anybody that I knew that had a 64, I would go to their house. And what are we going to play with a bunch of, preteen or teenage boys kind of thing? You play GoldenEye
Wave
or a
Race
sports game
64.
that whatever you're doing that's, 4 players all sitting around it, watching one person play Mario. So
Yeah,
I
if
never
you
got
didn't
my
have it,
turn, as it were, at the time.
but you're making up for it 30 years later, Nick.
Yeah, what do you think all this shit on my shelves are for?
And you, like you said, which is kind of cool, you're getting a chance to have a bonding experience with your son who knows more about the game. than you.
Yeah, in
A
a
game
roundabout way. Yeah.
That he wasn't even a twinkle in your eye 30 years ago, and he's telling you how to do things in this game.
Dude, yeah, I'm glad he was not when I was 13. Thank God.
Your life would be much different now.
I should say so. Yeah. Well, then we have some assignments.
We're not going to talk about mine. That's okay.
All
if you
right.
don't
No,
want
I wanted to talk about yours. I'm sorry. Yeah, God, I was excited about yours. What did you watch?
I watched it's called Lost Soul: The Doomed Journey of Richard Stanley's Island of Dr. Moreau. A very succinct title
Yeah.
for a documentary.
Well, you know
Dude,
what you're
this
getting
was
into.
It was weird. It was weird. So it was a documentary. I mean, I guess I just told you what it was a documentary about.
Yep. Yep. Right there in the title. Yes,
in
you criticized.
In 1996, a Dr. Moreau, Island of Dr. Moreau movie came out. It was originally, I believe, written and directed by Richard Stanley, who was known for, oh gosh, I just had them.
Indie horror, basically.
Yeah, let's just say that. Yeah, indie horror movies that people thought that he did some amazing work. He was a weird dude. He loved doing horror, and
what better property to give to him?
Yeah, and it was something. It was a property that he was obsessed with since he was younger. And he said, I believe there were a couple adaptations back in the 30s or 40s, maybe, that were done, and he saw them and hated them. He said he was obsessed with this property, which is based on in H.G. Wells' work, since he was I think he said he was 6 or 7 years old, because he remembered seeing the book on his parents' bookshelf, and it was just this bright red book on it, so he was drawn to it. And his parents kept telling him, you cannot read this book, it's too scary, blah, 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 which he then said, drove him into wanting to read the book. And he was obsessed with it.
I've never understood that. You shall not touch. Well,
Yeah.
What the hell do you think a kid's going to want to do then?
Exactly. It's the forbidden fruit.
Yeah.
So he goes on. Eventually, he hits. I watched this a few days ago too. But he finds one of these smaller film studios that want to take a big swing.
This is going to make their mark. Yeah.
Smaller film studios were starting to make their marks. They were starting to, I can't remember the example that was given, but there was a movie that came out from one of the smaller studios that did numbers. So it was like, oh man, this is our chance.
Well, this is the mid to late 90s. You're talking about the emergence of studios like New Line.
New Line.
Was
Yep.
huge at the time. Burst on the
Miramax.
scene kind of things. Yeah, exactly. All that stuff.
I think Miramax is the one that picked it up, actually. So he went and he was given basically free reign. He had all of these storyboards drawn. He had, his people that he worked with helped him create characters. His friend Feruza Balk, I think her name is, who you may recognize
from The Waterboy or The Craft, she has a very distinct look. She was in The Sopranos before being edited out. She was originally the undercover FBI agent.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's not even I don't even think it's in the DVDs. You have to get the pirated, originally aired version.
That's Is there a story behind that?
They decided she showed up for one episode, closing out whatever it was, season 3, and they decided that she wasn't right for it in the off time and recast the role, and then just
All right.
reshot her scenes.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. All right. Well, look at that. That's kind of fun to know.
Pivot, sorry, but
No, that was. I enjoy stuff like that.
he and his friend Fairuza Balk.
Yeah, he brought her on to play, a character. He
Perfect for
trying
that
to-
movie, I would say.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He tried, or Miramax, and I might be wrong, but I believe it was Miramax. They basically were like, okay, we want to get some big names attached to this movie because this is going to be like one of our tentpole big releases. So they got, what was it, James Wood, Val Kilmer, and Marlon Brando. Or no,
Yep.
James Wood's Bruce Willis and Marlon Brando. And I believe it was first something happened. I think Bruce Willis got divorced and he didn't want to do, they said, I think Richard Stanley said something like, for whatever reason, he wasn't able to leave the country for 6 months.
Well,
because this movie
it was like film on location for months at a time too. It was not
in
like
Australia.
It wasn't like a quick 2-week in LA
No.
production kind of thing or whatever, 28 days or whatever they do to bang a movie out. Like this was an Apocalypse Now type endeavor, while
Yes.
perhaps not that heavy.
It
I'm
didn't
sure
turn
that's-
out that way.
It's and how maybe it was envisioned in some ways going into it before he realized what he'd gotten himself into. But give the broad strokes, I guess, of the story or the movie for anybody who hasn't seen it.
Yeah, so I guess the broad strokes of the island of Dr. Moreau itself is there is this doctor or this scientist who has basically created half human, half animal hybrids, and he was shunned from society.
A
Because,
wild eccentric off on this
Yeah.
island to do his experiments. Yeah.
Yep, so he found a place to live on his own where he couldn't be bothered, and he created all of these like pig ladies and dog people, and basically it just
It goes off the rails from there.
I was just saying
Kilmer's
that's the
outside coming in
idea.
to check it out. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because-
it was New Line.
It wasn't New Line? Okay.
Yeah.
I knew it was Miramax or New Line because I know there were mentions in the documentary. It
Mhm.
might have been that Miramax did something and then New Line decided that they wanted to go ahead and try and get XYZ. But anyway, so this production was just wrought with issues. It had to be recast many times. Eventually, it ends up being settled on Marlon Brando and Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer is an absolute asshole during this entire thing, according
They
to...
hired him because, like, who was hotter in '96
Exactly,
than Val
yeah.
Kilmer? You
V-
know,
Val
coming off
Kilmer was the
Tombstone
guy.
and The Saint and all this other stuff that he
Yeah.
was in. Top Gun, obviously, years before, but he was now a leading man.
I think The Doors might have come out before that, too.
The Doors, yeah, that was '94. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. 91, according to this, actually.
Oh, was it? Jesus Christ.
I mean, that might
can't
not be
remember.
right, because...
No, I think you're
under-
right. I think you're
Okay.
probably right. Yeah.
But, and I remember hearing that when Val Kilmer did The Doors, he really got into character, and, like, people had to call him...
Yeah, but you know, Oliver Stone's all about that shit.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
Yeah,
But,
that
so-
worked there.
And it was... So they were talking about... when Val Kilmer came on set, like, he was a complete asshole. I think it was, like, one of the extras or someone that was working there, a producer's assistant or something, was like, yeah, I don't know if, like, he was just trying to be in character as an asshole or what, but, like, he was just very dismissive, and as they would all say, like, he was just very cool. He would just sit there and take a drag of his cigarette while they're doing a table read, and he would just be like, no, I don't think that's what he would say, and
Well,
just criticize
Yeah, I mean,
everything.
you've got obviously much more fresh eyes on this than I did, but wasn't it? He ended up like rewriting his part and
Oh yeah,
parts of the movie.
he rewrote his part. It was
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. I will. Oh gosh, where is it? I think it was Rob Morrow who ended up being the third in it. It was either Rob Morrow or Marco Hofschneider. One of the two was supposed to have a big role as Marlon Brando's, I don't know, foil. But then when Val Kilmer came on, he basically rewrote his part. That guy ended up getting lesser parts.
Yeah, that's what it was. Okay.
And then Marlon Brando, his daughter, ended up committing suicide, so he was just very distraught, and he was already very hard to work with, but he was grieving, so he wasn't on set when he was supposed to be. Val Kilmer came, I think, after shooting for a little bit and said, you need to cut my scenes by 40%. I only want to be there for X amount of time. You need to do this X,
Oh,
Y,
he was
Z."
only willing to meet like my minimum
Yeah.
contractual obligations in the production and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's what it was. I think Val Kilmer was supposed to play Rob Morrow's role, and he was like, "No, I don't want this role. You need to give me 40% less shooting days." So they gave him the other role, which was coincidentally about 40% less work than the other one.
It was a backhanded way to get what he wanted out of
Exactly,
them,
which
basically.
is what the story of this documentary was. Is everybody just backhand? No one wanted to do the movie. Marlon Brando apparently was incredibly difficult. Apparently, he was very nice to everyone there, but he was still just incredibly difficult.
I mean, I'm sure he's completely off the rails. I mean, we're mentioning Apocalypse Now. Like, maybe maybe think about what happened in the past when you try and do, an off-site production with Marlon Brando and what happens.
Yeah. So, I mean, he turned Dr. Moreau into something that he absolutely wasn't. Dr. Moreau was supposed to be like this younger, attractive, doctor. And they instead, the studio wanted to bring Brando in, and then Marlon Brando, who apparently famously at that point in his life didn't like to be out in the sun without being covered basically in sunscreen. So he turned Dr. Moreau into like this white face, essentially.
Yep,
so
with a veil.
With a veil. They also, at one point, he said it was too hot, so they turned a like ice bucket into a hat so they could put ice on his head, and it was.
This is, I think, also during the period where he refused to wear pants.
Yep.
So yeah, you don't see pants anywhere in the movie.
Nope.
He wears like big moo-moos.
Yeah, he looks like Homer at home.
You forgot, isn't Ron Perlman was in this as like some sort of pig man or like goat man or something like
Ron
this?
Perlman, I think, plays the Sayer of the Law. He was not in the documentary at all. I guess he just wanted nothing to do with it, which I guess I don't blame him.
Yeah.
There was also, what was his name? Nelson De La Rosa, I think, who is the world's smallest man. Not an actor. He apparently, the producers just saw him on, I believe it was a Mexican TV show where he was just dancing because that was his thing. And they were like, "Oh, he would be perfect," because they were trying to cast weird bodies,
oddities,
and people that look like, So they saw him and they went down to meet with him, and apparently they didn't realize, and this was a quote from the documentary, that he was like Michael Jackson down there. Like he was like so incredibly
legitimately famous.
Yeah. So they ended up getting him on there, and then apparently Marlon Brando absolutely fell in love with this guy, so he ended up becoming Marlon Brando's sidekick.
Yeah, didn't he insist that he then any scene that Brando would further be in, that guy had to be in it? Yeah.
Yep. Despite the fact that he wasn't an actor, he didn't speak any English. Apparently,
how horrible that is, because it's Brando just being like, because look, this is great. I get a little sidekick man. Like, oh God, I hope he was better than that.
It was literally like again, you take things with a grain of salt because whoever tells a story,
exactly. So many years later,
But I mean, based on how Marlon Brando was said by a lot of people during that point, it probably isn't super far from the truth. But it was essentially Marlon Brando didn't want to do the movie, so he was trying to be as difficult as he possibly could without just outright basically being the opposite of Val Kilmer. Like, he didn't want to be there. He was going to make it difficult for everyone, but he was still nice to everyone he worked with. He was obsessed with Nelson De La Rosa, so he's like, I want this guy to be with me the entire time.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Nice. We'll toss that in there with my Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, you could Godfather it up a little more. We could really have something there.
So, to not just go shot for shot for the entire documentary, if you haven't seen the 1996...
It's a disaster, basically. That's why I didn't want to assign the actual movie.
Yeah. I think people need to... If you have a Thursday afternoon that you're not doing anything and you want to kind of put something on in the background, toss on The Island of Dr. Moreau.
It's wild. Yeah.
Actually, the best part, and who cares? It's a documentary. Spoilers, whatever.
Yeah.
So my favorite part was Richard Stanley, which I guess we didn't even get to. He got fired from the movie because he couldn't handle Val Kilmer. He couldn't.
Well,
handle
poor
Marlon
guy
Brando.
is like, he's getting worked by these Hollywood guys that know how to work this guy, and he's his first real job, quote unquote, kind of thing, and he's trying to do the best he can and keep everyone happy, and of course he's unable to manage these two mega personalities that are just terrible people. Let's be honest.
He just made indie movies, Hardware and Dust Devil. Those were the two big movies that people knew him from before. This was his break. He thought it was going to be great. He didn't, I believe, if I remember, he didn't want Marlon Brando because
It was they were they forced him on him.
They
it was a
foisted
name.
all of these choices on him.
Yeah.
So, and it goes terrible. Essentially, he gets fired. They bring in John Frankenheimer, who apparently is supposed to be a director that's well known for being able to handle difficult people, which I guess, let's say you did this on purpose, but I know you didn't. I didn't realize that John Frankenheimer also directed Ronin.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. So look at that. Look at our 6 degrees of separation.
I
We always
know,
have
right?
some weird connection here on certain things.
I think we actually brought him up around Ronin too, so that's.
I think we
great.
did. Yeah. So John Frankenheimer came on, and he couldn't handle Brando or Val Kilmer either.
And this is like an industry pro going back to the 50s, man.
Yep. And like I said, this was a guy that was brought on specifically because he could work with difficult people.
Yeah.
And he couldn't handle it. They rewrote large portions of the movie. Richard Stanley was supposed to, he was told you can never be within 40 kilometers or 40 minutes from the set, or we will terminate your contract. They were going to pay out his contract in full. He was just going to send him home and say, we're sorry, didn't work out. You basically have a restraining order. If you break that, we will sue you and take back the rest.
Good luck ever trying to find another job in this town now.
Yeah, they were going to blackball him. And they said the same thing to Fairuza, because she was going to, in solidarity, she was like, I'm going to walk off the set. And all the actors loved him, so we're all going to walk off together. And I believe it was her agent was like, you do not do that. They will blackball you. You will never get a job again. Like, it's not worth it. Just finish the job.
Even he's screwed either way. Even if they don't blackball him, every other studio is going to be like, well, look what happened when somebody trusted you with some money.
Exactly.
Sorry.
So he was given a plane ticket to go home, and he didn't go home, and no one knew where he was. And he literally just disappeared.
Oh my God, I forgot about this entire part. Yeah.
That was my favorite part of the entire documentary.
Yeah.
The guy, Richard Stanley, just disappeared. No one knew, but he wasn't on set or anything. So people
broke him.
All right. Yeah. He apparently there was some guy that was living in the woods somewhere there in Australia. I can't remember if he had anything to do with the show. I don't think he did. I think he said it was a farmer who wasn't able to use his legs anymore or anything. And he let Richard Stanley live with him, and Richard Stanley was helping him out and everything. So he was just there living with the guy, tending to his farm, and just, trying to find himself again. And a couple of the extras they were camping somewhere near the place, and they found Richard Stanley. They found him there, and he said, I really want to see what's going on. And they were like, oh, that's a bad idea. There's this back and forth. And it turns out that he is given one of the extras like dog masks, and they brought him onto the set. And
he was Bulldog Man.
Bulldog Man, yes.
Yeah.
And they brought him back. Apparently these masks were it was super hot where they were.
Yeah.
Like people were.
It looked miserable.
Takes, yeah. Between takes, all the characters were taking off their masks so they can get water and everything. And one of the guys on the crew just noticed Richard Stanley. He didn't know it was him, but just saw this one character that would never take his mask off for the entire thing. He wasn't drinking water, and he was just like, that seems kind of weird. So he just watched him for the entire filming day. And they got to a scene which I think there was supposed to be a ceremonial fire or something, and his character was standing around a bunch of actual gasoline. And he was told, as the extra, because someone liked him, oh, you're going to set this place on fire and do this. And so he spent the day, he was the featured extra because the guy loved him. So and he's in the movie.
He made the movie, yeah.
If you watch the movie
that.
and you can see him. He's the extra that is tasked with destroying everything. And I don't know if it was him or it was someone that had said it during the documentary, but it must have been very cathartic to be able to you got thrown off this set and, you were told to go ahead and destroy it. And they were saying, if he really wanted, he just wanted to see what was happening. So if he really wanted to destroy it, he was standing around all of that gasoline. He could have set the entire set up in flames if he wanted to.
Yeah, if he really, he could have made sure they didn't have an ending kind of thing if he wanted to.
So the documentary, I think it makes more sense to at least browse the movie first. But if you just watch the documentary, if you just want to see a train wreck, or I don't know, maybe it might be better to watch the documentary and then watch the movie.
I would do it that way, I think.
I think that makes more sense because then you can see how much of a train wreck it is.
There's a lot more to
And-
grab onto, and that makes
Right.
it interesting versus just watching a terrible movie. And the whole thing just speaks to how hard it is to make a movie, period. And
Yeah.
to make a good one is really hard. And you can enter everything with the best of intentions, and just so many things can go wrong along the way that are out of your control.
Yeah, I believe, and it is, yeah. So if anyone wants to go ahead and watch this and enjoy, it's an hour and 30 minutes. It's a very fast hour and 30 minutes.
Mhm.
I didn't realize that the documentary started when it started because it literally just started talking about Richard Stanley. There was no like real intro or anything. I'm like, oh, we're already into
Here
it.
we
Okay.
go.
So it's streaming free on Tubi if anyone wants to watch that. It
Mhm.
looks like The Island of Dr. Moreau is streaming free on YouTube. So you could watch both of these without having to pay a penny. And yeah, that was fun.
I figured it was better than watching the actual Island of Dr. Moreau.
Yeah.
At least gives you something interesting. And yeah, what a train wreck.
It really was. But I think let's finally get to something fun. And let's get to our assignments.
Yes, sir.
So pulling back the curtain, Nick and I decided to share an assignment this week. It's going to be a short week for us, again, pulling the curtain back. We're going to be recording a little early next week because I'm going to be gone on a camping trip from Friday through Monday. So we're going to record a little early. And I think we're in the middle of summer. So this documentary that we're both going to watch, I think is going to be a pretty fun watch.
From the summer of 96, perhaps?
I think it actually came out in the summer of 1996.
Yay.
Because when we have a theme, we stick to our theme.
That's right.
So, Nick, are you familiar with Rick Seebeck?
That's my guy right there.
Yeah, he's a documentarian. He did a lot of work for Pittsburgh PBS. He made much documentaries. And he made probably my favorite documentary of all time. And it might be because I'm a little biased, but that's okay. He made a documentary in 1996 called An Ice Cream Show.
Yeah, this is the one with the place that, this is very in your neck of the woods, if I recall correctly.
It is. So the reason why I say I've got, I'm a little biased on this is my uncle, Dick Warren, is featured in this documentary a couple times. He was the owner of Four Seas Ice Cream in Centerville, Massachusetts, probably the best ice cream shop ever invented. And it's just kind of, my Uncle Richard died, 16, 17 years ago. So it'll be nice to be able to see him again because he's been, immortalized in this documentary. Four Seas Ice Cream is actually a super well-known ice cream shop. Anyone that listens to this from the New England area that's spent any time on Cape Cod probably has eaten there or at least knows about it.
It's an institution.
It is. Multiple years, USA Today listed it as one of the 10 best ice cream shops in the United States. It used to be the favorite of the Kennedy family way back in the day. They used to call up the ice cream shop and say, we want some peach ice cream. And everyone would fight there because the Kennedys weren't going to come down to the shop, obviously.
Oh, so who got to go to the Kennedy compound?
Yeah. And it was always my uncle's was like, nope, it's my shop. He used to hand deliver ice cream to the Kennedys. And it's, obviously, the whole documentary is not about him. He's probably in it for 45 seconds, but they do talk about Four Seas Ice Cream a bit. And it's just, it's a fun little documentary about how ice cream is made and the different ways people make it, the history of ice cream. And
I can remember watching this on PBS back in the day, and despite the fact that we talked about Rick Seebeck documentaries, I think even on this show, and like a hot dog documentary and the diners one, those are the stuff that I've gone back and looked at, or the ones that I hadn't seen. And admittedly, ice cream has just been kind of sitting there. So I'll be interested to see this again and see if I remember any of the places. I think I do.
Yeah. And then we will have to do a field trip to all of the ice cream shops that they talk about. Or see which ones are still around. I actually, don't know if I'm pretty sure Four Seas ice cream is still around. The family sold it a couple of years ago. Yeah, they're still open now, but it's no longer in my family, sadly. But
You should still be able to get free ice cream for life. I think that was part of the deal. So make sure
right?
they know that next time you're in there.
Yeah, do you know who I am?
Yeah, exactly.
My
Just pound your
picture's probably
fist.
here somewhere. But yeah, I think that'll be it's like an hour long. I think it was a it was just a PBS documentary, so it's not like a feature length anything. It might be even 52 minutes or something. But it'll be a nice, quick little watch, and we can talk about ice cream before I go on my camping trip next weekend, which, knock on wood, G Van Choi makes it all the way up to Mount Washington. We're not climbing Mount Washington, but makes it up to Mount Washington and makes it home.
You're gonna be Vanagon.
Hey, we don't have it yet. Bye. No.
Blah.
So yeah, I think that's all I've got. What about you, Nick? Any parting wisdom you want to give anyone?
You think you're so smart because you're dumb book learning, Julian. Well, you're not that smart.
I don't know. No,
right.
we'll talk to everybody this week. I think this was a long one, so peace.
Bye, everyone. We don't have it yet.
It's true.